detain them, their cars, their land, it's all, their food supplies, everything. I know people can get on YouTube and look at the executive orders that have been signed, and you can go into the code, the Senate stuff, and look at all that. It's happened already. They're going to get that land. And if they don't do it that way, they are passing that law. And that law flat out says whether it's natural gas, whether it's them turtles, or whether it's the fact that that solar energy will benefit such and such. And if you look at Reed's older son, he's a lawyer that's already doing a big old fancy Clark County, I think that is 9,000 acre buy for this. So they're all tied into that solar energy. They're all tied in together. And I'm not sounding like I don't have any hope. And they're big guys. The bully's going to win. But they're doing it in a matter of laws, and that's exactly what the government's doing to us as well. And I think people need to, all the people that's ready to go and the ones there really need to take it to the White House, be honest with you, because those laws are being passed too. And we're going to have to suck them to it just like he's going to wind up having to. Because if he don't and they say martial law, there is no rules what they can do to them protesters. It will look like what's going on in Ukraine. And I know they're trying to avoid that, because then he'd get us all in it. It would be chaos. But it is very eminent that they can do that. When you say martial law, people automatically think conspiracy theory. They really need to get off of that and look what's going on. These laws are right here. It's in the BLM budget. $60 million to put this law back in. And that law says that they can take that land from that man. So I don't think a few hundred people is going to stop millions and millions of dollars to these greedy, no-heart-having bastards.
Right, that have way too much power, that just love overstepping their boundaries.
Mm-hmm. What?
I said these people just love way overstepping their boundaries.
They really have, but I
way too much power.
You're right, and I couldn't believe that people were not saying anything when he kept signing these executive orders. And I did see it on the news where it said, well, he can detain Americans for up to a year. And then people start saying FEMA camps, and there they go again with conspiracy theories. Well, if you get in your car and drive to these places, you can look. You can look for yourself. There's many people, there's probably 50 videos of people that was just curious like myself and went by there and said, it's not fake. They will put you here. And then if it gets really ugly, you don't think the plastic coffins that are on there are not real? They had 500,000 of them in Madison, Georgia. And I know somebody that does know somebody that was about 70 years old. This man was an old vet. He wouldn't have lied about it. And he saw them with his own two eyes. That's what got me on this trip a while back anyway.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and keep you in the queue, ma'am. If you don't mind muting your phone, no. You can stay in the queue. But I'm going to let the next caller come in real quick.
Okay.
You can just mute yourself, though, and I won't pull you out of the call. If you plan on staying around for a while, if you want to chime in from time to time, you're welcome to do so. We've let about 3 or 4 other people have that capability, so you're cool. Sure. If you could just do me a favor, you're redlining a lot. Just be conscientious of your volume flow. You're at about a 20, and I need you to 10 just to be able to, so people can hear you and you don't sound like Charlie Brown's teacher, if you know what I mean.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
No problem. I know we're all hyped up. The coffee will do that to you. You're just coming in real loud, just not giving you any problems, just saying, be conscientious so that everybody else can hear you at that volume.
No, you're good.
Anonymous caller, you're in.
Hi, this is John from Montana.
And what's going on, Montana?
And I just wanted to call in and say I really appreciate what y'all are doing here.
How long you been in, man?
I've been in for a while. I keep getting cut off here and there and kicked off. Calling in on an internet phone. So.
Are you okay? Are you kind of losing signal via your internet phone then, or?
Oh, I think it's the internet provider just keeps cutting my service. So I don't know if it has to do with your end or my end. Let's see, but I just have one question to pose here. Are you still there?
Yeah, still here.
Okay. If the government wanted to round up people and put them in FEMA camps, could it be possible that this is a way to do that without the hassle of coming into your house? And also they would be taking out the top militia members first. And that was all I wanted to throw out there.
That kind of came up the first day, and there's so many reasons why I felt this call would be important as it moved forward, and we were telling other people to chime in. We needed to know what's going on. And we still need to know what's going on. There's plenty of people that said that they were sending a few people out, and they know we're still here. The fact that they're not chiming in right now, I mean, I understand it's 5 o'clock Central, but, the number hasn't changed, and they know that. And, it's kind of bugging us. I
personally think that Alex Jones and Pete Santilli are part of the disinformation network, and they were there to try to incite a war.
I didn't actually see anything Santilli actually said other than the recorded footage of the sheriff speaking. And the sheriff, that seemed kind of staged, but outside of that, can you verify anything Santilli actually said that you felt was kind of disinfo?
Well, just the mood that he puts people in and gets you riled up. He actually works for the FBI, and Alex Jones works for the CIA, and they were trying to dupe everybody into this war.
Do you feel that any portion of this phone call had an effect on some people?
I don't know, but I just had to throw that out there because I've been studying this I've been watching it for 2 or 3 days now, and I've been up for like 2 days and been praying to the Lord that He would reveal the truth that's going on here, because we're getting disinformation from almost every aspect of the media, and it's hard for one to actually figure out what is actually going on here. And if you look at Cliven Bundy, they had these same issues back in 2012 around the same date, and they're even using pictures from that time for recent news articles about him. This is all kind of weird and fishy. And also when Cliven Bundy gave his speech this morning after the sheriff gave his statement that BLM was backing off, he all of a sudden had these list of demands for the sheriff, and I think it put all of the militia members in a bad spot, because these are all good Samaritans that went there to save Clive Bundy's life and his family's life that's being threatened, and here he is taking advantage of them and now trying to use them and the sheriff to go and disarm the feds and all of this. It's all hard to take in. It's almost like a scripted play, of the Revolutionary War, and Cliven Bundy's trying to star as George Washington.
Yeah, I definitely can see that aspect, man. It just you're right, how everything's played out up until right now. Now I'm all kinds of frazzled and confused, because we're not getting feedback from guys that were boots on the ground, except for a few individuals that have chimed in, over the course. But it'd be a lot easier if there was maybe 5 people that were boots on the ground. If they're all given the same aspect, then we've got a handle on the situation from where we're sitting.
It would also be good. It would also be good if we could somehow get information into them, and not just them putting. It's nice to get the live information on grounds. That's great and everything, but we need to have a good way of getting information to them that we find out, because they're there on the grounds, and it's hard for them to get information, and it's hard for them to do research and all of this stuff. It's hard for me to do this, and I've been up for 3 days.
Yeah, that's impossible. We're trying to get through to the chain of command again, and there's a couple of people, like I said, that have chimed in over the course of this that they need to get back to us, so we have a better idea. They don't have to. We're hoping they will. But as of right now, we've been pretty puzzled.
I just thought I would chime in with, the thoughts that were on my mind and what I've been thinking about and the conclusions of the research that I've been coming to. Just so everybody else can do their own research and maybe have more input and, so we can all get our facts straight here.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
This is not
the next person might have some answers. If it does cut you loose, I apologize. It shouldn't hang up on you, but it might disengage you.
Oh.
I'm going to bring in wireless caller 4431. 4431, are you there? Yeah,
I'm here. The gentleman he's still on that was just there a minute ago. In a way, I kind of agree with him about some of the disinformation that's going on in the whole Alex Jones things to an extent. I think to some degree you do get a little bit of information out of Alex Jones. He does trickle out a little bit of stuff that's actually decent. But I do believe they did drag their feet. It took them all, even the alternative media, a while to really get on this story. It seemed to really take off on the Facebook as well. As far as Cliven Bundy using the militia, I'm not trying to complain or throw blame on you or anything or say you're wrong. I'm just coming at it from another perspective. But as far as him using the militia, the militia, they are their own free will. They can leave or come and go anytime they want if they don't feel what, Clive is doing is right. They don't have to back him on that. But at the same time, for years and years and years, all I hear everybody say is, when is someone going to take the reins and lead? When is someone going to take the reins and get this thing done? Well, now suddenly we have a guy who potentially may be trying to do this in a non-violent way. As we know, no shots have been fired, which is excellent. That is not something anybody wants to go down that road. But if we potentially have someone who's going to take the reins and lead and be, quote-unquote, the next George Washington, as the gentleman was saying before, I don't see it going that far as him being the next George Washington. But the fact that somebody's willing to say, okay, you know what, now we need to push back a little bit. Because ultimately it's not just about, okay, we stopped them this time, but it's time to push back. It's time to push back and take some of that back. And it might be a prime opportunity to do it. He's got the people there. May as well use them if they're willing to do it. If they're not willing to do it, they're free to go. They're not, they're all volunteers. That's about it. Like I said, I'm not trying to place blame or say anybody's right or wrong. I'm just saying there's multiple different ways to look at it. That's about it. Thanks.
Yeah, I've been highly recommended, again, to tell people that when you're coming, the request was for peaceful protesters. From this point on, if you're a peaceful protester that happens to have weapons in the vehicle or in the trunk properly stored and broken down how they, according to the Nevada laws, they should be okay. If you actually come from the mentality that really, militias are meant to be a statewide organization. So, for example, if Tennessee came to Illinois, come in guns down, you're not representing necessarily the militia right now. If you're coming in hot and heavy like that, you're crossing state borders as militia can be construed and can get people in trouble, if I'm not mistaken. So, they're putting a call out for backup. What should have happened is a lot of people locally should have stepped up, and everybody else, did raise their DEFCON, but then everybody decided to start sending people there, which makes me cautious. If you're coming as militia, that could cause you problems. If you're coming in as a peaceful protester that happens to have self-defense weapons in the vehicle legally and lawfully, what more can they do? You're a peaceful protester. I happen to have self-defense weapons broken down appropriately in the trunk. Bug off. You come in as militia. Oh, you're crossing state lines, huh? Who knows what's happening? Why aren't these people chiming back in? That's what bothers me a little bit. They're like, yeah, we'll chime in, and after 8 o'clock, what was yesterday night, and we don't have but 3 or 4 people that chimed in, and they didn't really give very much, other than, we know that there's some National Guard that was around there locally about 10 miles away from Ground Zero, and that other fellow that chimed in, that's kind of freaked us all out at this point. He says, there's only 20 people here left. They want more people to come, but we don't know who that guy was. We can't verify at this time that he's actually second in command as far as the militias. I'd like, if he was, we heard the call go out, but I can't tell people to go there right now based on the fact that nobody was headed there is really chiming in right now. That's frustrating. So we're at kind of a weird standoff. We're really trying to get boots on the ground, confirmable evidence that anybody's still heading there, confirmable evidence that the rancher really still wants people there. Obviously, we're hearing that they're still scared. There's been